Many of Iowa's lakes and rivers provide plenty of fishing opportunities, but many of these secret and not so secret fishing holes wouldn't be as prosperous without the DNR stocking programs. For fishermen and women across Iowa, a few summertime casts at a local fishing hole can be therapeutic. Many lakes are well stocked with fish, but do you know how they got there? Or how much work has gone on for months and years prior to that perfect catch? In early spring, shortly after ice out and more than a month before the walleye opener, I ventured north to Spirit Lake. DNR officials at Big Spirit bring in volunteers and extra help for their busiest season of the year. Small teams head out on the lake at sunset, placing hundreds of feet of gill net from the shoreline out towards the center of Spirit Lake.
They've got really sensitive eyes for feeding, and their most active time of the day is right at dawn and dusk. And so walleyes, big female walleyes right now are getting ready to do their spawning run up on the shoreline.
Why is this the best time of year to do this?
Well, walleyes spawn because of a combination of a couple things: water temperature and photo period. So as the ice goes off the lake, walleyes are waiting for that photo period and also good water temperature. So about 42 to 48 degrees for water temperature.
A couple of hours later, we returned to our gill nets to see what fish had become trapped along the shoreline. And needless to say, there were plenty. For the next 2 hours, DNR biologist Mike Hawkins and his team pulled dozens of walleye, the occasional northern pike, and one very big muskie from the dark water. This fish broke loose from the gill nets and slowly floated by our boat. Holy cow! The muskie weighed nearly 40 pounds and is a prime example of why Spirit Lake is a premier spot to capture fish during spawning season. This is a pretty big, this is a muskie?
It's a muskie, muskellunge.
Is this a normal size for
this
fish?
This is actually probably a female. She's medium size, I'd say. This is probably...
This is medium size?
Yep, a little over 40 inches.
Every fish is cataloged by biologists.
There's a 3, and then there's probably a V right there, like a carrot, upside down V, carrot. So that's a 3 carat. So that means that fish was stocked 3 years ago into Spirit Lake.
The best specimens are brought back to shore. The night's haul is transported into massive trucks, each one filled to the brim with walleye and muskie from Spirit Lake. Each team will make multiple runs back and forth to their gill nets throughout the night. Back at the Spirit Lake Fish Hatchery, the work is just ramping up. Female fish are harvested for their eggs, and the process is fairly simple. A DNR specialist literally squeezes the eggs out of the fish, but it's not necessarily as easy as it looks.
Yeah, just grab it right up by the head, just with your hand now, and hang on to it, and tip it like this, okay?
Okay.
We'll get the eggs down in the lower part of there. There might be about...
It's a dirty job. It's interesting. It's kind of weird. I feel like you don't want to hurt it. Harvested eggs are mixed with previously extracted sperm, and the slurry is placed into containers filled with lake water. The fertilized eggs will eventually hatch thousands of fish that will swim their way to additional tanks in the hatchery. These are just weeks-old northern pike, and just a few short weeks later, these pike have grown to be a couple inches long. A similar fate awaits walleye and muskie caught at Spirit Lake. The harvested fish are placed back into the holding tanks, and some are equipped with digital tags. It brings the process full circle. The Spirit Lake population is monitored each season, and those healthy numbers create the next generation for lakes, ponds, and waterways across Iowa.
If we didn't have our hatchery operations and our netting efforts like this, we probably wouldn't have the walleye fishing that we have.